Oh, okay. I will be first talk about the real host of this workshop, that is 4Geeks Academy, and after that we will start with the content of the workshop. Okay. Okay, 4Geeks Academy, it's a coding bootcamp academy. It is not just like that because Forgis Academy is building awesome software developers and building also awesome tools for the use case of teaching masters and also developers that wants to learn from scratch how to develop a web page, how to work with React, Python, and soonly we have also machine learning courses. Also, we have data science courses, and you can get a cool certificate that you can present on your new job. Also, in 4Geeks, they have. Let me read this first. Okay, here I have the presentation briefed better. Let me stop sharing my screen, and I will read it for you. Okay. Also, something that 4Geeks offers is unlimited one-to-one sessions to them students. If you're a 4Geeks student, you can access all your entire life to the one-to-one sessions, and also you have always feedback about how is your Git profile, LinkedIn profile, help in building your curriculum and your resume, that kind of things. If you want to learn more about 4Geeks, you can find in the social media as 4Geeks Academy. We have they are a bootcamp in Miami and also in many countries of the world. You just need a computer to access, so it's not necessary. You can be in any country you want. Okay, so I will start with a quick introduction about who I am and why I'm here sharing my screen with you and sharing my knowledge. Okay, let me see my camera. Okay. Wait a second. Okay, okay. Well, my name is Charly. My name is Charly. You can find me on LinkedIn, Charly Chacon, in any social media network as Charlytoc. That's my username. Also, I will share you my GitHub profile where you can find awesome resources I've been building the past months. Okay, I started developing the last year. I made a bootcamp. I made a 4Geeks bootcamp for me more explicit, and I start learning with React, Python as a web developer. But in the last month, I've been working more closely with artificial intelligence, using Django as a framework to build. Okay, someone wants to get into the call already. Perfect. Okay, and I'm a YouTuber. I have a YouTube channel where I share resources in Spanish, and soonly also I will share resources in English. Um, I use artificial intelligence in my everyday work, and I have a lot of ideas of applications that I'm building also. Currently, I work for two companies in artificial intelligence. One of the company is in Probado, a marketing company that helps big tech and big companies like Activision or Coca-Cola, for example, to build their pipelines and extract useful data from that. Stuff like marketing, stuff like SQL, and with 4Geeks Academy, I work as a main lead in the development of different applications using artificial intelligence. Currently, I'm building an application for 4Geeks that will review your code and help you to improve that code without giving you the direct answer. Sometimes we go to ChatGPT and you maybe add the error code and the code that is causing that error, but you don't understand how it did that. How did ChatGPT do whatever he does? And also, we are building we are building different applications that I want to talk a lot. But We will start. Okay. First, many of you sure that notice that sometime in this moment of the humanity, we are changing the world. Okay, artificial intelligence is always in the newspaper and is always with a new feature. For example, now artificial intelligence can be able of identify diseases in persons given a variety of symptoms, or maybe watch an image and identify the objects. Yeah, especially LLMs, of course, but not just LLMs. For example, we have different technologies to analyze images or produce audio or video. For example, currently the community of actors are in a higher and very hot debate with the industry because they want to use AI to make movies without even a single actor. You don't need even an actor, and you can produce an entire film with artificial intelligence using the same actors you know your entire life. For example, an AI character of Michael Jackson, or maybe an AI character of Morgan Freeman, and even with the same voice, even with the same gesture. So it's super amazing what we can make with AI, how actually works, and how we can use it by ourselves. That's what we will be talking about today. Okay, first I will start. Yeah, exactly. Just 1 minute of recording of an actor is enough, and you can have an actor for all the entire life. So the community is concerned about, oh, what about our jobs? And a lot of people will lose their jobs. It is absolutely true, but also there are a lot of people that will get a new job, a new role using artificial intelligence mostly because we can use it in our work, as I will show you today how I use it in my everyday job. I'm a developer, so I use artificial intelligence for coding faster, maybe solve errors in just a second without needing to search any documentation. I have an entire documentation of any programming language and even can understand logic, so it's super useful. Okay, first, how will the artificial intelligence change our lives? First, we need to get in touch with a concept that you already knew, maybe, is the concept of prompts. Okay, we will be talking about exactly about LLMs today. LLMs are well, not just LLMs. I will also talk about image generation. That is super cool. But what is an LLM? An LLM, or large language model, it's an artificial intelligence model. Understand a model as an engine that can make a task. Okay, and a large language model, it's an engine that can execute prompts. Basically, it receives text and returns another piece of text. This can have a lot of use cases in the real world. For example, translating something, building an history book, maybe coding, because it can produce any kind of syntax and any kind of language. Also, we can use it like we can create code, we can use it to build entire web pages. For example, I will share you today maybe an LLM, or a model, an agent is the real word to use, to understand a little more about the nomenclature, about the words we will be using today. An agent, it's like an artificial intelligence that can do something. That's why I call it an agent. An agent, it's like, for example, a translator that can translate from a given language to any another language, or maybe a transcriber that will be taking an audio input and transcribe that audio input. For example, that different agents, but are the same, are agents, are an artificial intelligence powered by a model, by an engine that can execute tasks. Agents are the next step after GPT. Yeah, Yeah, or we can say we can use GPT to build an agent. We can build our custom agents. I will show you today, for example, uh, 2 or 3 agents, no more. An agent will be capable of produce an entire social post even with an image. And the other agent is like a chatbot interface that you can customize. And yeah, uh, no, I am not sharing my screen. Let me share you my screen, but I'm not starting still to. Okay. Well, maybe let me show you what we will be learning today. Okay, for example, first I have here a repository that you will see soon. But first, let me show what it does. Okay, let me run Python main.py and just click and wait a second. We will be see that something will be happening. I didn't add a lot of prints, so you are not seeing anything. But here you will be seeing something now. See, in this case, it generates a post about something, and also you will be seeing here in the output directory that it will generate an image. Wait a second, and I will explain you how it works and how you can build something like this without any code. Mm, you don't need code to do this. I am doing it with code because I'm a developer, but you don't need code to use ChatGPT or any custom LLM. Now, I will share you another tool that is called Tana that I'm using every day, and it's super useful because it lets you. Oh, an error background is clean. No matter. It generates the image. I don't know why I get that error, but see, now I have an image. This image was generated with this post of here. It works because I'm using 2 agents, an agent that is generating a post and another agent that is generating an image. Okay, this is something that I will show how it works today. I'm using LangChain to do this. And also I will share you this chat interface that I think it's super easy and super cool. Just run Python chat interface. Of course, you can find these resources in the GitHub repository I leave in the start of the call. I will be passed it again. Just run the chat interface. It will ask you your name. I will share my name, and you can ask anything. For example, I want to know how the moon affects our lives, and it will be asking me in Markdown format because I specified that. Just wait a second again, and here is how the function, how the moon affects our lives. Maybe I can make another question, and how the sun does it. And also I can export txt. I have custom functions in the chat interface that I can run, and it will generate a random named file here with the response of the agent. Wait a second, and we have here. Here is the response of the agent. The sun, anything that the agent says me. This is similar to ChatGPT, but in your computer, well, not in your computer because it's running in OpenAI, but you can build it and you can customize it. For example, let's say I want always give your answer in Russian, or no, in Japanese, for example. Mhm. And okay, let me share you. I just run the function again and skip the name. Okay, but my message the same. How no how the math module in Python can be used. And I will show you also different use cases of artificial intelligence to learn things. Okay, we have the answer in Japanese now. Okay, but how can we build something like this It's for another time of our meeting today. First, I will talk you briefly about how can you use it, not necessarily build it because you don't need to build it. And let me share my screen a little. I have here a presentation prepared. Okay, this is my GitHub. Here is. Also, in this repository, you can find different links. One link is for a Canva presentation and another for a Tome presentation. Let me share you. First, I made this presentation almost entirely with artificial intelligence. I generate the images using Stability AI. That is a model that can generate images based in a text prompt. And first, we will think in our typical work day functions. For example, if I'm a developer, I will be always making, for example, making a function. I will be always solving a code error. I will be always maybe understanding how a file in a program works, or maybe understanding documentation or building a documentation. So there is a lot of things in my typical work functions that I can extract, right? For example, I can make a list of my typical workday functions and try the next step. Write it in a notebook. Just write in a notebook the your more usual things that you make in your work, or maybe not even in your job. You can, for example, use it to create content that is not necessarily a job. You can, okay. So, but this is so important. Think in your typical work functions and write in a notebook how to execute each function. For example, when I'm trying to solve a code error, I need to think what I do to solve a code error, right? So I write, for example, to solve a code error, I need to uh, read the traceback. That's the first step. Read the traceback of the error, search in the file that is causing the error, and try to solve the error. That's all the steps I need to follow to successfully execute this workday functionality. After that, we need to try to write this in a prompt. And I will be focusing this mm, image now. What is a prompt? A prompt, you need to think in a prompt as an instruction, but also as an scaffold of what you want to get. For example, if I want to build a prompt to solve an error, I need to tell the agent, I need to tell the LLM, can you make, okay, let me see, I received a message. Can you make Charlie's screen full screen? Do you mind, don't you see my screen, full screen? You just need to press the button in the meeting, I'm not sure what is the button. Just select the image you want to see in full screen and you can update it. Okay. Okay, after we identified our working day functions, we can build a prompt. Let's make an example. Maybe some of you have an example of something you want to automate, something you want to work with AI. For example, you use to make a post, or maybe translate something, or something that is related to text more specifically. If you can't, it would be super great for the workshop. If not, I will be sharing you examples too. Now, I want to share you something that I'm always using now, and it's an application called Tana. Tana, it's like a super application. It's like a Notion, for example, but works with AI. I know that Notion already works with AI, but now we can build our custom prompts in Tana. Let me share you something that I have. For example, I have here a prompts tag. Note is the current name in Tana, and Note is like a part of my Tana workspace. It's like a page, for example. In this page called prompts, I have different prompts that I can use in Tana. In Tana, for example, I have the prompt solve code error. And how it works. Imagine I have an error. I will produce an error here uh, just to show you how it works. Error code.py. And suppose I want to print hello world.
Excuse me, Charlie. Uh,
Okay, tell me.
you need to present a tab for full screen.
A tab for full screen.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. Not the entire screen.
Exactly.
Okay, okay. So what I want to share you, I will share you just my Tana workspace, and I will execute this. How can I show different tabs? Is not possible, Janet?
Excuse me?
How can I show different tabs? Because it's important to show different tabs here. Or let me see if I'm.
I mean,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, okay. Let me share you.
Select the option present now
Okay,
and
okay.
select a tab.
Yeah, already, already. Okay,
Okay.
if you can see my screen, I am in Tana again. Okay, I will share you how this prompt works without showing the current code, how I build it. In VS Code, now I'm executing a function that will turns into an error. Python error code. Okay, I have the error. I have the file. Okay. Okay, let me share you. I am in Tana and I want to solve a code error. So I go here, for example, for a notebook, a brainstorming, for example, solving errors with Tana. Okay. Mm, for time, no matter. I will just check this. And let me show you. For example, when I'm in Tana, I can add tags to make something. If I want to solve a code error, for example, I just need to write solve code error. I add the error file and the error message. I press the command and I had now the corrected code. I can run this code and this will successfully uh, run the application without errors. So I want you to focus maybe in the error code that is not necessary. The thing that you need to focus is that I'm automating a daily work task. Every day I need to solve codes. Why not to ask an agent, an AI, to solve this code for me? And how it works is a prompt. Let me show you how it works here. I have in Tana, you can build tags and the tags can have fields. And you can customize these fields to be variables in your prompt. For example,
Charlie, excuse me, Jorge leaves a comment.
okay, let me see. The same as GPT. That what's the difference? The difference, the difference is that you have this. Okay, what makes Tana best than Notion? For me, what makes Tana best than Notion is that you can customize your entire workspace in any format you want. I know you can make something similar with Notion, but I really love the other use cases. For example, let me share you another tool that I have here. This. This this. Okay, here I have a notebook called that is a tag in Tana that maybe works like a notebook. In the notebook, I have different pages. In this page, I want to learn the different use cases of the print function. Perfect. I just need to add a paragraph and I add the tag generate lesson. This tag is special because this tag, I pass an objective and it generates an entire lesson for me. I will share you, for example, let me make another example. Mm, I want to learn basic mm, Yeah, the basic Python principles, for example. Python principles. Okay, I generate lesson and learn how to build a simple application with Python. This is super useful. You will see why. I just press generate lesson and I wait a second. Wait a second. Wait until the lesson is successfully created. Okay, now I have the lesson. Basic Python principles. In this case, the lesson doesn't have the syntax I want. That's because Tana is currently in development and sometimes it have smaller errors like this. This is a parse error. And let me share you the another example. This of here. This lesson is currently created. When the lesson is currently created, it will looks like this. It have the basic usage of whatever I ask. In this case, the Python function usages. I have all the content necessary to learn something and also formatted. And also, I can make a test from this lesson. I have here a test field in the lesson and I have different questions. These questions were created with AI. I just pressed a button and this was created. I have the answer and I can test my answers. Display out, it makes me questions. What is the basic usage of the print function in Python? I make an answer and I evaluate the answer. If the answer is correct or not. True, the print statement is correct. If I add another thing, for example, the print function is used to compile, something doesn't make sense. I just evaluate and now it's incorrect. Also, I can mark it as incorrect. And that is why I think Tana could be, for example, better than Notion. You can customize your workflows as you want. In this case, for example, I customize my workflow to learn something. And if I want to learn something, I just need to create a lesson with content, and the AI will help me to build a test and stuff like that. And I have another question, but what Tana has behind? Okay, let me share you. Uh, let me share you with another notebook in this brainstorming, this solving code error, for example. Please come again to this solve code error prompt another time. Look inside this node. I have a command, and basically it is a question to OpenAI, a prompt. This is the prompt. The name is the name of the node. In this case, nothing. For example, solve a simple error. Also, it will get the objective. The objective is here. Help me solving an error code, give me the necessary feedback to solve the error and write the most relevant answer to my problem. The execution steps, something that I think would be really useful when building a prompt is adding execution steps. An execution step is what the agent will do to successfully make the task. For example, if you want to translate something, think in the common translation of the word in the requested language. Now write the answers. Something that the agent needs to know. It's like the task, the smaller tasks that the agent needs to execute to successfully give you an useful answer. In this case, the objective, the execution steps are here, pre-written. Thinking the most possible problems causing the error, thinking the possible solutions for the problem, give me a solution for my error. And so I get the format instructions here. Format instructions. I just added and it understands what I want to say. Just write detailed. This is bad writing, but no matter with execution steps. Perfect. And I pass the error message and the error file. and generates a new version of the file. So what is this? Why is this useful? In ChatGPT, you can do this. For example, in ChatGPT, you need to write from scratch. I have an error, and you need to write something that you maybe write before. So that's the first step. No, you need to automate your prompts. That's why I was talking about writing your workday functions, how you can use it, how you can automate it with AI. I have another
Excuse
message,
me, excuse
but
me
possible.
again. Yes,
Sorry.
Jorge left a comment. Um,
Okay, but possible to use with different models besides GPT. In this case, Tana just works with GPT-4, GPT 3.5. You can customize it here in the configuration. You can select another model. We have for the moment GPT-4, GPT Turbo, and GPT Turbo 16K. 16K have a lot of context window. If you don't know what is a context window, I will explain you. A context window is like the amount of text that the LLM can take. For example, in the 16K model, it takes a lot of words. It takes like mm, maybe more than 10,000 of words, a lot of words. Another question from Transformer in Action. Transformers. Okay, you want to use transformers? Maybe we can use a transformer that is super useful also is Dream Studio. In Dream Studio, let me share another tab. I will share another tab. How to use a transformer. Okay, how here? Okay, okay. I have two different questions now. How to use transformer and how to use LangChain. I want to ask you something first. How many of you have software development abilities? How many of you want to learn how to build your own ChatGPT? If there are more than maybe three persons interested, I will share you the code how you can use it. Okay, one, two, I think three. Okay, perfect.
come on,
Let's
guys, raise your hand.
no problem. So okay, we have three people interested. That's enough. I will share you now another part of the execution of a ChatGPT prompt, but now maybe in a software development environment, how you can build it from scratch. Okay, I will share you my screen again. Okay, and I will share you my entire screen for the moment because I want to share you my VS Code. Okay. Okay, tell me if you can see my VS Code here. You can see it now, right?
Yes.
Just somebody, okay, perfect. Okay, this error code, just ignore it. I was trying to make the sample to use in Tana. And I have this function here, a main function. What this repository does, I will pass you the link again. Wait a second. I have the link here. And just sorry for sharing the whole screen, but okay. Just go to this repository, please, and clone the repository, follow the README steps. And I will share you how you can build your own ChatGPT. This interface, for example, is using LangChain to build a custom ChatGPT. I will show you. I just run the function Python chat interface, asks me for a name, and I can make a message. Solve an error code for me, something like that. Maybe as a question, translate state this message to Russian. It will be giving me the answer in Japanese. Okay, let me check here. Here. Okay. Okay, how it works. Uh, I want to show you. eh, I'm not a person that likes to show the code without a prior explanation, but I will share you just how it works. I have here a simple prompt agent. A simple prompt agent is what I called something that does just one task. It's as easy as that. And it could be super useful. Just a single prompt can be so powerful if you know how to use it. This single prompt agent takes a template as an input, as a parameter, and try to extract the variables of this template. In this case, in the past, I was trying to extract just a response, and I give it a response structure. You can feel free to experiment with this. I will just share you how this class is built, and after that, you can customize it and you can build your own workflows. For example, in this case, let me, for example, change this template. Just you are an useful assistant. This will be just like the default template. And as variable, we'll take the user message. It's as simple as writing the variable you want in the prompt. Okay, now that we have a template, for default, I will use the GPT 3.5 that is more faster. The system template is like the template that you will be using to search, to send to OpenAI and have an answer. This chat on OpenAI class here is from LangChain. You can see that LangChain have different models in the chat models, but the most important model maybe is the chat OpenAI class. This class, you can pass a model. In this case, I'm passing GPT 3.5 Turbo, and you can choose, for example, GPT-4, and you can customize the temperature to, I suggest leaving this in 0, or you can use 0.5, for example. No, it doesn't matter too much. And after that, we get a prompt from this template of here. This is done with the system prompt template class from LangChain. If you call the from template method, you can pass, let me add you useful comments. You can use system to transform single text into a prompt with variables. Perfect. After that, this is not relevant. I will delete it. No, I won't delete it. You can use it in the future if you want. Okay, also you can add a message prompt template and human message prompt template, but for this use case, that is just a single prompt, is not necessary. You can work just with a single prompt template that will be the system prompt template, and that's enough. And after that, you can build the chat prompt with this chat prompt template for messages. Okay, this is a message, and it's just like passing the message you want. You can pass, for example, an AI message as user message, so you can imagine that you can build maybe a chatting structure with this. This is not relevant for the moment. I will delete it. Not necessary. It's incomplete. It's also not necessary. Extract response, I will let it here. And let's check the run method. The run method just does one thing, is it calls the run method of the chain of this agent. The chain is what we instantiate here, the LLM chain. An LLM chain takes as an argument an LLM and takes a prompt. With this prompt, you can ask something to an LLM. It's just as simple. Let me reduce this to single steps. Maybe I will do it after. Okay. You just need to run the run method and it will be share you a response. Let me show you how it works with an example. In this case, for example, I have the single prompt agent and I will be make another file just like translator, translator, py. And for example, mm, I will be do this with artificial intelligence just to show you how I use it in my everyday work. I am going to Tana and I will write here, make a function. When I write make a function, I pass the objective and the context, language Python requirements. The function just run, give me give me an entire file that runs a main translator function when is executed. Also, it's important to know that if you want to use artificial intelligence, you need to have a use case. You want to use it for learning, you want to use it for coding, you want to use it for generating some kind of content. Give me an entire file that runs a main translator function when it's executed with a name equals to main. This is something that you may don't know, but the AI will know. Okay. Uh, Also, it needs to receive an argument in the execution with the text to translate. Don't implement the translator function. Just print what the user pass in the execution of the file. Already, I just need to execute, wait a second, and I just need to copy this text here, and I will run translator.py. Perfect. I just need to run Python translator.py. Text to translate for hello world. And that's all. As you can see, I can build this function by myself, but making it with AI helps me to save time in some cases and improve my code because I don't need to think, oh well, now I need to add these the arguments, something like this. I just can modify my code like I need using AI, and it will be so much faster. Now I will use a prompt agent, a single prompt agent here to translate wherever I add. Maybe after that I can also receive another argument like the language, but for the moment I will just translate to Spanish, for example. I will import from source that text that single prompt import single prompt agent. I just need to instantiate this. Okay, agent equals to single prompt agent, and I need to pass the template. The template will
Charly,
be
excuse me,
okay.
a
Yeah,
comment
tell me.
from Camilo.
Okay, a comment. Okay.
Yes, yes.
What website of AI did you use? Website of AI, better Ukrainian. Ukrainian, no problem. Okay. Website of AI. If you mean what model I use, I am using OpenAI. If you mean what is this? This is Tana. This is let me pass you the link. and request early access because it's in private beta. But if you want, you can get invites from the community of Tana. It's super useful, I think. Also, you can even make mm, uh, generated images here in Tana. If I want, for example, a small dog with pink color, and I add the tag generate. Oh, sorry, tag generate image. I just need to generate image with a Lee, and I will see an image generated by AI. But this is not about Tana. Let me show you the code. Oh, there is the image. I really love how the AI works because I can use it in my everyday job. For example, when I want to customize my LinkedIn profile, I can, for example, make a document, check that the document has no misspellings, translate it to another language, summarize it, or even just with a simple click. So it's super useful. If I want an image, I don't use DALL-E because DALL-E is from OpenAI, and I think DALL-E doesn't have a good performance. But I can use Dream Studio that is super useful. For example, I will make the same, but I will add the tag generate image description, and this tag has a prompt. I want the image of a small dog with pink hair, with pink hair. Hey, I just need to imagine the description. I will wait a second and you will see how I use it to create awesome images. Ouch. Wait a second. And I will come back to the code. Sorry. Okay. I just copy this text and pass this text here. And I want to generate just two images, for example. Wait a second. Maybe the big consideration with AI is that sometimes it can be so slow, and if you are a person that doesn't have a lot of time, it's not good to wait for a response. But I used to the AI just when I need it, not always. I think it's important to keep our mind focused and start learning something new and start finding new use cases. And also, we need to take an approach of this because a lot of people will definitely lose their jobs for reasons like this because there is a lot of models that can make a lot of things and we can replace jobs. Okay, wait a second. It is taking too much time. Um, okay. Okay, well, while it is generated, I will continue with the code. Okay, in this case, I just instantiate the single prompt agent that you will find all this in the documentation. And well, in the documentation, not just in the source file, in the repository I recently add. If you have any questions of the repository, also you can ask me. You can use it like a starting point for your applications. If you are a developer, it would be useful to have something that already generates text, takes prompts, and generates images. You can build a lot of application upon this in Python for the moment. Okay, agent, it will take a template. The template will be like the prompt, how the prompt will be structured. So I will add a good prompt here. And the good prompt is the prompt that explains the agent what you want it to do, to exactly make. In this case, I just want to translate a text into Ukrainian. Ukrainian, right? Ukrainian, yes, Ukrainian. Okay, perfect. Okay, translate this text into Ukrainian. Ukrainian. And I will pass the text here. This is a super easy use case, so it's just to show you an example. text to translate. And I just need to pass this template and run the function agent that run, and text to translate is this. So text to translate, text equals to text. Perfect. And I will print this. I have another function called I want to use it from search.utils that color print import color print. I will to print this agent. Oh, here is, and the color will be blue, for example. And just like that, I want to run the function again, and I will translate hello world in Ukrainian, or hello world, just like that. To translate hello, and here is the text in Ukrainian. Super useful. Now you can build your own Ukrainian translator and look for the code. There are just 24 lines of code, but it can be even less lines of code. So it's super useful. I suggest you, if you don't want to get in deep on how LangChain works, you can just clone this repository and start building your own prompt executions. You can, for example, take the response of the agent and pass it to another agent. That is what we call a chain. In LangChain, there is the contents, the concept of chain. A chain is like a prompt execution. This prompt is executed before this another prompt, and after that, this another prompt will be executed and stuff like that. You can build entire applications with this. And okay, super useful. What can we do now? For example, we can make mm, an agent that generates a documentation for your application and takes the entire repository, stuff like that. You can build beautiful and awesome stuff upon LangChain and artificial intelligence. How the code works, how to use the code is more important. Just write a template with the variables you will use. Instantiate the single prompt agent with the right template. Run the agent with the variables needed to the prompt execution. And what is this? Basically, I am using a prompt to automate a process. In this case, there is not in Tana. For example, in Tana, I can use it like for example, I just need to make a program. I just need to make the prompt here and execute the prompt with the commands. But in here, I can use this translator for an application. I can, for example, start a Flash application and add a translation feature to an application. Or I can, for example, I have another message. Well, we will go to have this recording. Yeah, you will have the recording. And also, if you want, you can. Oh, we are getting the the uh, the end of the meeting. You can find me here in YouTube. Also, I will be sharing content of how to build a chatbot upon LangChain, how to query your own data, how to build an application with Python, maybe building an application that generates images. More related to coding will be in my YouTube channel. Today, I just wanted to show you that you can use artificial intelligence in your work. That was like the main focus of this workshop, but we just go to another road. That's not bad, but I want to show you just one thing after, finally. The conclusion. The conclusion is what you need to learn now. If you want to keep your job and if you want to improve your skills and improve your workflow, you need to use AI. You need to use AI and you need to learn how to build a good prompt. And I will share you how I build my prompts now. I will share you first here in Tana because I think Tana would be useful for this. Just in this brainstorming, I will add another page, how to build a good prompt, how to build a good prompt. And I will just write how I built a prompt. First, to build a prompt, you need to make a checklist of things. The first thing that you need to check is I need the prompt. Why I need the prompt? Or better, what I need to solve. Write a good description of the task to execute. The task could be translate, the task could be solve a code error, the task could be anything you want, but the task needs to be well explained. Also, add uh, also execution steps. What I called execution steps, let me, and an execution step. An execution step, it's what the LLM needs to do while thinking. Because this can be maybe, I will share you another thing I use with Tana. When I don't know how to say something in English, I just write the word in any language, for example, Spanish, and I just add the tag translate this, and I have the translation. Controvertido can be controversial. Well, this can be controversial, but the agents, the LLMs, can think. The thinking process is more known like a reasoning, and the reasoning is the process in which the model is in OpenAI or is in your computer, executing, maybe searching the words in its brain, and we need to say thinking in the prompt to find the best answer for it. It is like the thinking process, but you can detach, maybe break this process into smaller steps. That steps are the execution steps. Okay, first, before translation, think in the language in what the phrase is written. If the phrase is in blah, 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 make the blah, blah. If the blah, you need to understand and you need to make understand the agent what he will does. He will be doing. Okay, after you write the execution step, another good practice of a good prompt could be add a structure, format structure. Explain, explain the LLM how to use how to return the answer, because sometimes in the prompt we lose what we want to get, and this is the maybe the most important part. For example, in one of my works, we get responses in JSON format. We tell the agent, okay, give me the answer in JSON format. This will be a key, and we pass the key of their answer. This will be another key, and you can customize the answer you will get, and maybe getting different answers in the same call. So it's super cool because customizing the response structure will help you to approach the model, maybe making a good usage of the resources, because sometimes we want to use a single prompt to get as many information that we want. We are making always a process of using the text to produce another text. So we need to use the most of the context length, because the agent won't lose. The agent can take a big context window. Remember that the context window, it's like what amount of text the agent can take. And this context window in these days for OpenAI, it's so useful for a lot of use cases. You can use all the context window. It's super useful. So I think with this step, you can build a good prompt. Uh, Maybe some of you have an example or a prompt that you have that is not working, something that you try to use but doesn't work. It will be super. Example,
Charlie,
okay, tell me.
Jorge left a question
Okay.
in the chat.
Do you have experience with AutoGPT? Well, AutoGPT, I didn't test AutoGPT still. I need to confess that I have my own GPT. I will show you, for example. Just this is just like showing how what can you use, can you make with artificial intelligence. Okay, okay, code that. Look for this agent. Oh, my AI key. No, I will change it later. No problem. Okay, the main function. Oh, I lose this here. Generator, code that. Okay, perfect. This is another function that I have built. This function generates entire applications using AI. For example, in the main function, I have here an application that prints hello world in Python, for example, and it's just a super useful application, right? It won't fail. It's like the hello world of building applications with AI. Let me share you. Source, BNB, scripts, activate. Okay. I just need to run it, python main.py, and wait a second. Wait a second, because it takes more time because it has a bigger execution. This function, I did it with a documentation agent, execution steps agent, and a structure agent. It's like a big process to create the file. Oh, in this case, I had an error. Print the phrase, example, made a file, need to file, no such file or directory application. Hmm. For some reason, it didn't did it in the moment, but let me run it again, no problem. We'll delete this application. Eugene, command. Mm-hmm. I know what's happening. Okay, here is the main.py function. It is already my program created. You have the code. It is not completely debug, but you can see this is the hello world, but this was a code created by artificial intelligence. Let's try something different. For example, a Flask application. Make a simple Flask application that shows a heading that says artificial artificial intelligence will take your job. Hmm. Okay. Python made them by. Wait a second. I will delete this folder. Wait a second. Okay. Now we have the app folder, the documentation of the application, the execution steps to create the application, also app.py and models.py and views.py, a lot of things. Okay. Let me check this code. We have to route. Models. Okay. It is just like a beta, so perfect. And the templates. Now, in theory, I just need to install Flask and run Python app app app.py. No model name Flask, no problem. Pip install Flask. Hmm. Okay. Again. Hey, we see something. Go here. Artificial intelligence will take your job. As you can see, I create an scaffold for a web page using using a prompt, using just a requirement, a single and smart description of an application. So super useful, right? It's like my own GPT, but this is not. Um, if you want to make something like this, keep in mind, you just need to write the Python functions to create the files and write the good prompts. That's all. Your own custom GPT can be built by any of you. Okay, come back again here. How to make something like this here, for example? Well, you just need to concatenate different prompts. That's like the most important part of building an application with artificial intelligence that works with a hard execution of artificial intelligence, because there are a lot of functions of applications that takes a prompt and executes the prompt. I have another. That render template is related to render app, render template, render app. What do you mean with render app? Do you mean maybe render the okay, this render template. Ah, okay, okay. Yes, the render template function is a function of Flask that takes a template available on the templates. Let me share you. This is more about Flask. This is not about Flask. This is for artificial intelligence. But I will share you how Flask works, right? For example, that HTML. I will just copy this and list to learn how to use it. And in the app.py, I will render the example that HTML. And let me rerun this again. Perfect. I'll let you learn how to use it. The render template function takes a template of HTML in your templates directory and renders in a view in Flask. Super useful. Okay, so keep in mind these things, okay? How to build a good prompt and how to, oh, tell me. Okay. Charlie, what about the image you were generating? Okay, the images. Let's make something with the images. First, you need to know that in the template I shared with you in the beginning the this template of here, the single stand guide no. This is the repositories. Sorry, this simple GPT creator, you can use it to generate images too. So if you want to build an application with I suggest you to mark and start in this template. I make it today. Sorry. If it's not complete, if you have a question, you can make an issue, and I will be take care of solve the error or maybe adding more features, something like that. But you can create applications with artificial intelligence using this template. It's super, super simple. And here in the simple generator, the images are created also with artificial intelligence. I will be showing you two things, like the client side, that is this page of here, Dream Studio, and how to use Dream Studio under the hood, how to use it if you are a developer, how to use it in your applications. two things that are completely different because I don't need to be a developer. You don't need to be a developer to create images with artificial intelligence. You just need to be a good descriptor and go to this page, Dream Studio. I will pass you the link too. You can go to Dream Studio and create your own awesome images. For example, a beautiful cat with big star eyes with a bulb icon as an idea in the head. Something maybe even not understandable, but I will make something different. I will take this and I will write here, generate image description. I will pass it here, cat, generate the image description, and we will be comparing, well, nothing bad. It's a beautiful image. Let me, for example, change the style, maybe an anime style, a neon punk style. Okay, the image portrays. Okay, and we will test this description now to see how that descriptions are good, if this description is good or bad. Wait a second. Of course, in this case, I generate something that maybe is not, look, these images, this could be even used as a profile picture. And what effort I had to do with to generate this? Any effort. Let me use this description now to see if it's more related. The third eye with the mentor eyes. The third eye. Yeah, I don't know why it generates the third eye. Because starred eyes with a bulb icon. It is, oh, beautiful cat. This is a realistic representation of a cat. Let me ask, for example, a, a, let me write in Spanish, for example. Quiero una representación fiel de del ojo de un gato en a tan solo 5 centímetros. And I can translate this, copy paste. And as you can see, I can use artificial intelligence in my everyday work and everything it's easy because I'm a person that sometimes have an idea in Spanish and other times I have an idea in English and I want to write an always in the same language or I want to build an idea from scratch. So I will to Tana, I go to Tana and start writing something. I have like a rule of my philosophy. If you want to do something, first write it. If you write what you need to do, you can have like more ideas of how to do it. Look, a good representation of an eye of a cat in super high quality. I can even increase the quality of this image. So, for example, like what do you want to generate? So first check this page and generate awesome stuff. You just need to experiment a little and find the best way to describe an image. It's important to be clear. If you want a house, say I want a house. A house with 3 windows, black color, for example, and it will generate a house with 3 windows, black color. Stuff like that. Maybe adding sentiments could be useful too, adding the style you want to get, and stuff like that. Well, how to use it from an application? You can use it from an application with this code of here, the source folder, the image descriptor, and the stability AI. Stability.py connects with the stability API. In this case, I will be after that delete this environment variable. Even I can pass this from an environment variable. So I will to import from the temp, import, load the temp, load the temp, and uh, stability key will be uh, os.environ.get stability key. Awesome. Here I will reopen this. I know this is not shareable, but no matter. Mhm. Stability key. Perfect. Okay. Stability key. Perfect. Oh, sorry. And secret key. Ready. Now you can use the entire program with environment variables that is so most useful. Okay, now how to build an image, how to produce an image. You need just to understand how this function works. The image generator class, the class, have a generate method that receives a description in string format and goes to this endpoint here, API.stability.ai, B1 generation, and all this URL. You can select here the model to use, Stable Diffusion Excel. B1 is super more useful. The body, the weight, the steps, I will just customize it to 40. See the scale samples. And with this, you can get an image generated with AI. Look, for example, wait a second, please. Wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. Perfect. Okay, for example, you can also get different images. You can generate as many images as you want. I think I don't know what is the limit, but with this function, you can use it. How you can use it, for example, here in the translate to that pi. I will make another function here. Generate image about that pi. And I will just from source that images image descriptor, not image, how I call it, stability, import image generator. Perfect. And I just need to instantiate it. I will be made this, I will be do the same. Mm. Translator function not left generate image. I'm letting you leaving this code here because it will be extremely useful for you. Image description string. Perfect. And I just call the image description, generate image with the image description. That's all. Ready. Perfect. Expected indent block. Why this? Oh, why import sys length else? Weird. Okay, here. And I just will instantiate the image generator. No, it's not necessary. Generate, and I will pass the description. And the image generator will save the file here. That's all. That's all. You can generate an image with this. Let's test it. Python generate image. Generate image. I am not in the correct. Yes. Python generate image, and you can pass a description. A beautiful cat. Just that. Run the function. Us is not defined. That's because I didn't import the function, the us module. Perfect. Well, I can use Tana, I can use artificial intelligence to this, but uh, what? Ah, I am in the incorrect file, I think. Import os. Mm. Ah, okay, in the other file here. Okay, perfect. Okay. Image generator missing one position require argument. Image that generate what it needs. It needs the self. I need to instantiate it because I didn't add it as a class imaginator. Image generator. Perfect. Now imaginator that generate. Okay. Perfect. A was not found. ID message. Now generate reception response text. ID message the specified engine. Ah, the engine is not. Okay, I think my microphone turns out. Sorry, it's downloaded. It has no battery. Okay, here the stable diffusion B0. Oh, maybe B0. Let me test it. Not doesn't exist still. Mhm. Was not found. Hmm. Let me think. Okay, this B09. No, B this. Beautiful cat. Perfect. Just wait a second and it will generate a cat. Wait a second. Well, we get the response from stability. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay, we have the image. Nothing related. I don't know what is no related. Don't have any relation with the image, but it generates the image. We need to improve maybe the prompt. We need to improve maybe the model because in this case, with the API, I am using the BC this 09 model, but in the client of Dream Studio, I am using the B0 the B1. The B1 model works super great and super better than DALI, and just like Mind Journey. Mind Journey works pretty Mid Journey for sorry, it works pretty good too. So let me summarize a little this workshop for you, for those people who recently come here at the end of the workshop. Basically, I was explaining you that you can use artificial intelligence in all your works. You just need to understand what you continue do in the workshop and customize maybe a prompt to do so. Write an instructions, write clear instructions of what you need to do and what are the variables that you need to develop this process. After that, just search a tool to use these prompts, and that's all. Even in 4Geeks, if you want to be part of 4Geeks, we have a tool called Rigobot that can use prompt templates with different variables, and you just can use the extension, and you will get the response for the prompt. In the today's work, you will be found useful having different prompts to your job. As I showed you before, I use prompts to solve code errors, to get instant translations, to modify code, maybe to understand how a file is built, how a program works. So you can have different use cases based in your works. If you have a job that involves generating something, and specifically generating text, or maybe using different images to build something, you will find useful these pages. Tana, for example, is something that I can really suggest you to use if you are a creator. If you want to create content of any kind, maybe posts, maybe documents, maybe stuff like that, you can use Tana, and you will have the possibility to make this in an easy way. Another, I will share you the link of Tana again, just to summarize a little. Special cut, yes, super special cut, the last generated image, and a Dream Studio. Use these tools, and I really ensure you that you will dramatically increase your productivity in your work. I use it. I am already using it every day. And maybe we need to ask the question, to answer the question, will the AI just my email to be, yeah, but you can also request an invitation in the community. If you get in the community in Slack here, get early access, send your email and go to the community in Slack, Tana Slack. If you go to the community, you will find, I already have the community opened. You will find here an introduce yourself channel. If in this channel you send a message, you will receive an instant invitation to Tana, so you can use it. And if you can use it, after that you can reach me out in LinkedIn and write me a message. I want to be part of your workspace, and I will send you an invitation to different workspace that I'm building in this moment. 4Geeks have courses related to artificial intelligence in this moment, and if not, they are building. In this moment, they have a courses for machine learning and data science. I'm not sure if they have a prompt engineering courses, but you can apply because soonly we will have it. Maybe I will be part of the team in creating the content for the prompt engineering courses that I think it's super important to maybe reduce the workload to this. If you have the ability to build a good prompt, you can automate your entire workflow using artificial intelligence. That's a fact. And you can't. Oh, sorry, wait a second. Let me turn on a light here. Uh-huh. Mhm. I like to have different lights in my workstation, but I don't find the control. Just red, a little of red. No, blue, blue. Blue looks great. Okay, perfect. Well, that's some kind. I mentor. I only need your scholarship. Yeah. If you in for geeks, for of course you can have direct mentorship sessions, one-to-one mentorship sessions, and you can find the Slack channel with up to 4,000 of different developers in a lot of areas. Maybe some kind of that. Developers have experience in different topics. For example, just like an introduction of me, well, maybe not an introduction, but I know about React, I know about front end, full stack development, project management. Also, I'm working now with cloud engineering because I want to have my own applications. I have different applications, but I want to have my own products. You can think in the application as a product, and I suggest, and I ensure you that you will find uh, this useful because when you think in your applications as a product, you need to think what your application solve. But maybe this is just a topic for another workshop or for another video because I will be sharing YouTube videos too about this. Okay, so just to summarize, Search a tool that execute the prompts. That was like the main thing that I want to show you, and that's all. I think with what this workshop you see how easy can be building an application with artificial intelligence and how you can use your own workflows even if you are not a developer. You don't need to be a developer to build kind of applications with artificial intelligence if you use prompts, different prompts, and you can use a tool like Tana that I was showing you. I use Tana to my day to, for example, uh, write my tasks and even find a solution if I have the task with the right context. So I really suggest you to use a tool like Tana or maybe Notion. I don't know if Notion have the possibility now to execute prompts. I know we can use the Ask AI function. I always use Notion too to annotate things in my smartphone, but I prefer Tana to building things, building web pages, maybe building documents, maybe building documentation, solving error codes and stuff like that that are involved perplexity, where perplexity maybe it's a topic for another workshop because we can why you prefer Tana. We can talk a lot about that, but I will make a video about perplexity. That's why I don't want to talk a lot about that now. And why I prefer Tana? That's why I won't. I will. I was telling you in the first time you ask. I prefer Tana because I can execute prompts and automate these prompts. I can, for example, make a prompt execution directly here. Translate this, for example, is a prompt that lets me translate something instantly. Generate image description. I use it to generate an image description that I after using Dream Studio to generate an image. If I want, for example, to to solve an error code, I just need to write the proper tag, pass the error file, pass the error message, and I can have a certain of customization with Tana to build my workflows. That's why I prefer Tana because I think it's more useful in building workflows. Um, well, I think that solves your question. And well, I don't have a lot of more of things to tell you today. I will be sharing you again the repository for coders. Go here. Go to the simple GPT creator, start building something, start customizing the prompts, and maybe even invent your own execution and your own applications using AI. But for instance, for some kind of prompt, how those interactive for how so interactive can I use Tana? Prompts how those interactive. What do you mean with interactive? Do you mean, for example, a chat? If you mean like a chat for chatting, interactive prompts. Yeah, like chatting, right? If you want to chat, maybe Tana is not the best option, but I think we can customize it. For example, I can build a tag called chat. I will show you how I use Tana for a lot of things. Okay. I will suppose that is this is your question, right? How to maybe have a certain of interactivity. Okay, I will build this chat tag and I will build a prompt. The prompt, mhm, exactly. We will have messages, but I will add a comment and continue conversation. This will be a good name. And this will be a prompt. So I will add the ask AI command. Let me show you exactly how I'm building this. Okay. Now that I have ask AI command, I can add the prompt. The prompt will be continue the conversation. Just that. You're an useful agent. You are an useful assistant. Continue the conversation with the user. And I will pass the context. In Tana, you can pass the context of the nodes. So I will just add the context here, and I will come to this node and first chat attempt. Hello, how are you? I will also add this like a user message in this tag. I'm just showing you how I use Tana every day, okay? And this will have build from fields. I will add type, type user, question, type, and name. Exactly. Just continue the conversation. Assistant, hello, I am here to help you. How can I assist you today? Help me summarize, no, help me make my homework. I need, I will tag this as a user message. I need to uh, mm, build a Python application, Python Flask application, something like this. And I just continue the conversation. That's great. You're gonna build a Flask application. That's okay. For example, I don't know how to start. I already have Python installed. Is continuing the conversation. It will explain me how can I build an application with a lot of steps. So I think you can see how this can be useful. Is the screen? Oh, sorry.
Yes,
I
Charly.
think I was sharing my screen. That's a mess. Okay, sorry. Let me redo this entire thing. Sorry. Okay, basically, I built a chat tag in Tana that helps me like have an instance, an example of chat in Tana. Tana doesn't support chat natively, but you can customize it. I didn't have this before the call. I will just press Control C. Oh, sorry. Problem. Oh, maybe I can. Okay, this. I'm just redoing all the things. Sorry. Okay, first. Uh, the name is George. Jorge. Okay. Jorge, you ask how to add interactivity, how we can interact maybe with an agent, maybe with a chat directly in Tana without going to ChatGPT, maybe. That's what I understand from your talk, from your question. First chat attempt, which will be the name. Okay, in Tana, we have the concept of node. A node in Tana is just like this. The name of the node, the tag of the node, and everything inside. Okay? A chat, like it will be a chat, it will be have messages. So I think the first tag I need to create is a message. I will, for example, add user message. For example, hello, how are you? For instance, in Tana, we just have prompts, but not chatting functionality. But I can maybe customize this. How? Well, I can add a comment. For example, chat or continue chatting, continue conversation. I think that's the best name. I add a command called ask AI. I add the configuration. I add the prompt. If you want to learn indeed how Tana works, you can reach me out on LinkedIn, and I will be I will be happy to explain to you how you can use Tana for a lot of things. The prompt will be: you are Maybe I can even customize this from this uh, agent uh, agent character. What the agent will be. By default, you are unuseful. Perfect. So I think I can write here, for example, agent character. And I can add the tone, something that I think is so useful, and the tone will be neutral for the moment. Uh, your useful assistant answer in this. Uh-huh. Just pass the context. Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry if you are not understanding, but this will be amazing. Mhm. Answer, answer in a neutral tone. Okay, this is okay. Mhm. This for the okay, perfect. Now this prompt is successfully created, but I will do it here. You are a useful assistant. Continue the conversation. Continue the conversation. Just that. I am an assistant, so I don't have feelings. That's why that's for the tone. Ah, I don't have feelings. That's okay. How are you? I don't have feelings, but I'm here to help you. How can I assist you today? Oh, I want to change the tone. For example, suggest I want you to be sarcastic. Sarcastic. I'm glad you think I'm useful. I'm just a humble AI assistant where to serve you every need. So what can I assist you today? So you can customize your own ChatGPT here in Tana, directly in Tana. And as you can see, I just create a single tag called chat. And in the prompt execution, I pass the context. The context is passing all these notes here. That's why he is answering me. I can also add more tags like a user tag, for example, user message, user, user message. I am sure that I delete the tag. User message. In this tag we have the type, and by default will be user. I will build the title with the type note, type, and the name already. Perfect. Now I have like a chatbot interface, uh, as you can see, just with a tag. I can, for example, I want to make a present. I have no idea what to do. Help me with ideas of presents to my girlfriend. Gift. I want to make a present. I think it will understand. Oh, making a present for your girlfriend, how original you are. Good luck in your gift search. A question that I am not interested in reading because this is just an example. But as you can see, we can have interactivity. Main is a present to the mentor. It is well received, George, Jorge. Okay, maybe in the execution step, you could include the instruction of asking most condition and the agent will do it. Yeah, you can do something like this. For example, I have another agent called the form agent. The form agent is an agent that receives the form, and if it needs more variables from the messages, it will ask the user to from that to give that variables, to give that answers. And you can have even a prompt, a form that doesn't works like a form but works like a chatbot. That's pretty amazing. I won't share you how I do this because I'm trying to use it in an application first and it's not completely debugged. It doesn't have the functionality I completely have, but basically it is just a prompt that returns things in a certain format. The format, I can share you here. Let me think. Let me share you. It's another thing. This is another thing. Clean. Okay, perfect. Code that. And here I have a lot of things, but one of things is the form submitter agent. The form submitter agent take the form variables, collection, main. Let me see how it works. hmm Format agent that run and the args. I passed the args. Okay, perfect. Just I need to run this. Python source bmb scripts activate. Python form submitter agent, and I need to pass a description. In this case, I am using it to save. Mm, I don't remember if I update this code. This is not uh, up-to-date code. Charly, country Venezuela or Ecuador, because it's the country I'm living, and the age just nothing more. See what happens. Cannot import printing name, printing red. This is an error here. I say this is not an actual code. Resulting note, just print. Problem. Aha. Okay, now I'll show you how it works. It's super interesting. Second, it already. If self. Okay. Resulting note. It doesn't print anything. Okay, printing cannot import. Okay, cannot import printing red. Print. Okay, printing red. Correct answer. Just print it. And another. Printing red. Already. Okay, now it will work. Okay, and recognized arguments, Ecuador, and foreign submission, help, description. Okay, need to pass arguments here, description. Well, this will be just Charly, Chacon, 24 years, I think. Argument, and the OpenAI key is not cool. This is not an actual code. I don't want to show you because I will need to debug it and this will take me time, and I don't want you to share you just unuseful code, just useful code. If you want useful code, just use the simple generator file. All this code is corrected. You can use the chat interface, for example. Something that I did in this chat interface was adding functions. For example, if the user writes get summary, it will get the entire summary of the chat. If the user writes export txt, it will export the answer like a txt file. So it would be useful. For example, Python chat interface. I am not in the correct folder. Oh yeah, Python chat interface. Charly. I want a whole execution steps to build a Flask application. And I will add export txt. It will be give me a response. Now I have here an entire execution steps to build a Flash application. This can be even a text, or you can change it to be a markdown file, and you can even see it in a well format. So I think artificial intelligence is super useful if you want to use it in your work. The tokens limit. Okay, the tokens limit. I have, for example, this. Let's take a second here. This get OpenAI callback function. I will just copy this code and this import statement get OpenAI callback. Perfect. Okay, and the chat interface. Let me import this from LangChain callback and mm, mhm. Let me think if this works. I don't know with OpenAI callback. Perfect. And this in the end. Okay. Mhm. And this will indent. Ah, okay. Here. Perfect. Okay, let's test it again. I don't know if it will work. Didn't test it still with a chat interface. Message, I want to know how to make bread. Also, I will export this because I will use it. I also make videos of how to cook things. I cook pizza, hamburgers, and stuff like that. If you want to follow me in YouTube for TXT. Mhm. Wait a second while the agent thinks. Okay, and we have here the usage. It uses just once, no, one zero that zero zero that number of dollars, and it takes this amount of tokens. And the token limit in this case is calculated between the completion and the prompt. In this case, I am calculating all the tokens needed for the for all the tokens that are executed here. Also, the tokens from the AI, from the prompt, and the tokens that the agent generates. If I, for example, I make a smaller answer, just tell me who you are. Just tell me who you are in 3 words. Helpful assistant Brett. Helpful assistant Brett. Okay, perfect. And as you can see, we use less tokens. Just there is a big amount of tokens still, but it is because I am using here a summarized conversation function that actually is receiving all the conversation, summarizing it, and return it. I am using this because I want this chat interface to be useful. For example, what uh, what was my first question? I don't know. Your first question, what was my first question? Not, it's not working as I want. Maybe the summarizing prompt is not working as expected. So it's time to debug the prompt and stuff like that. To debug the prompt, you need to make examples. You need to to chat with the agent in this case and see how the summarization is working. Maybe adding a print statement here and see the previous steps and see what the agent is taking and stuff like that. In this case, I think it's because it's using as less words as you can. I mean, I don't want a big context, so I'm trying to summarize the conversation. That's why the summarization is not working as expected because it can remember the last questions. Okay, I think it's enough. I shared you how to use Tana. I showed you how to use this template. I showed you some bigger parts of how to build a prompt, different prompts about translation, about what can you see with artificial intelligence. Feel free to test it. Feel free to use this template to build any kind of application. If something is not working, you can reach me out in LinkedIn or YouTube, and I will be happy to help you in your applications if I have time. That's pretty important. In this moment, I am working for two companies and I have a lot of workload, but okay, no problem. um, okay, that's enough. I expect you enjoyed this session, and you'll learn something useful from this. If you want, you will see the recording after in YouTube of 4Geeks. And if you want to learn how to code from scratch, you can reach 4Geeks in the landing page and reach for the courses they have. And also, you can find me in YouTube because I will be sharing also awesome videos about how to build things. And that's all. If you have any questions, please ask me now because there is a time for questions too. What's the vector DB that must be used? Vector DB. If you want to use a vector DB, I suggest you using Chroma because Chroma is open source and you can start using in simple steps. To use Chroma, search for the LangChain documentation of Chroma, and LangChain has a Chroma reference. Not this documentation, just the Python documentation. Here, search for an example of usage of how to use Chroma. Wait a second, and the agent will tell you how to use Chroma. No problem. If you want to find the documentation in the traditional way, you can find it here in the chains, documents, and stuff. No, in the let me search it. Memory node, agents, callbacks, guides, evaluation, debugging, deployment. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Chroma. Hmm. I don't want the chatbot. I want just Chroma. Structure chat. Chat examples. Chroma vector store. Here is. Uh, reach this documentation, and this documentation helps you to know how to use Chroma. Chroma is the vector DB that I'm using for the moment to my applications because it's open source. I also have experience with Pinecone. Pinecone is not open source. It has a free mode, but it has limits. But if you want to, and Pinecone is so useful also and so easy to use. But for the moment, I think Chroma is the best solution I found because it lets me customize it more, and I can well, I can save the documents and the vectors directly in my workspace, so I can see how it looks and stuff like that. Maybe do you have another question? And about the token limits, for example, you can use up to 8,000 tokens for GPT-4. And for GPT 3.5, just 4,000. But you can use GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K that has a yeah, super long context. The 16,000 of token, it's a lot of text. I didn't reach the limit still, and I have used it with a lot of things. So maybe I think there are no more questions now. If you want to get in deep with a topic of this workshop, you can reach me on LinkedIn. Let me share you my profile also. Oh, of course, my profile, the landing page, the the background cover of my profile was made with Dream Studio also. Welcome to my space. I'm a professional builder. After that, I use it in Canvas. So if you're a content creator, this is the best. If you want to ask me something, please do it in LinkedIn because I'm more active in LinkedIn rather than other social media networks. And that's all. Also, you can pass me here your LinkedIn profiles and I will follow you to connect. I like to connect with new people. That's all. I think there are no more questions. I expect you enjoy the lights, the explanation, and if you find this workshop useful, feel free to use the template to build your own applications. Feel free to ask me how to use Tana, and or how if you want to learn something in 4Geeks, you can ask me. You can ask me, and I can guide you in the next steps to do it. So. That's all. I expect you enjoy this workshop. I don't know if Janet will say something else. Do you want to say something else, Janet? No? Okay, no problem. So I think this is the end. Sorry, and thanks for all for getting to keep 2 hours with me. That is a lot of time, and thanks for all of you for sharing this time with me. I expect to see you soon. Goodbye. Now you can get off the call. I will stop the recording. Okay, stop it.